Yo, so I'm gonna make a couple videos for y'all, right? I've been getting a few requests, and I am planning on doing this, but I think because more and more people keep asking it, like whether they come on lives or just leaving me a comment, I think it'll help. Maybe to some degree, someone will get help out of this, right? So this first video I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna show you what teams I recommend for you to use to have the most success in festival battles. Okay, I'm gonna make a follow-up video to this one, and that follow-up video is gonna talk about what units I would recommend you use just in general. So in case you want to make your own team, maybe you don't like the teams that I made, you want to make your own team. The units that I recommend that will have the most success in festival battles, okay? And then units that you could potentially take in that are a little bit more questionable, but you could still use, okay? So this first video, we're going to go into teams real quick. And I'm basically just real quick going to explain what the strategy is for each team that we're looking at and why I like them, okay? So the way that this works, the way that we're looking at this, I'm going to move down here real quick. Okay, if we look at this top team, this is an STR Goku team. Now, I've compiled this team specifically in case you don't have new units, right? Like, and I know like the STR Goku's a newer unit, but I'm talking strictly like Tech Broly and the Frieza, maybe even some units in the GDC after STR Goku. But if you have STR Goku, this team up here will definitely help you get a win in festival battles. And the strategy works like this, okay? So STR Goku here, you're basically going to be floating off the entire time. Now, you're going to have two of them because he's your lead, right? But you're going to be floating him off basically the entirety of the run. And he has an 80% dodge chance, so this is what makes that viable, right? He provides a full leader skill for everybody on this team, which is also ideal, okay? So you're getting that full 220% for attack and defense. And the way your rotations look is you have the monkeys in one rotation, and you have the gods in another rotation. Now, the way that you want this to work is you want to keep these guys partnered with the tech gods the entire run, okay? You want to keep them in slot 1. They cannot leave slot 1 because in slot 1, they get a 200% attack and defense boost. They're also providing the whole team with 5% buffs to all their stats for every 18 key that they do. So you want to keep these guys in slot 1 on one rotation with these guys, okay? And the other rotation, you're going to have Tech Vegeta in slot 1 because he gets an additional super, and you're going to build up his defense to about 3.1 to 3.5 million, okay? 3.1 to 3.5 million for this guy. He's going to be in slot 1 next to the monkeys, just getting defense. And once his defense gets up to that range, you want to swap him into Goku, and you want to put him in slot 2 so these guys can stack in slot 1. Okay? So your rotations potentially look like Tech Vegeta and the monkeys, and then halfway through Festival, you switch so it's the monkeys and Tech Goku. And the other rotation is going to be in Trunks and Vegeta, always in slot 1, and the Tech Gods in slot 2. This guy, you want him to be Goku basically the entire run long. And he's just going to stack defense as a floater up until 1.9 to 2 million defense. That's what you're trying to hit. That's where he'll be safe. Now, eventually, if you're getting supered in the third slot, you will be able to use Vegeta to tank it. Or you can decide to utilize Goku in slot 1, but you have to be really careful because if you're utilizing this card in slot 1, you definitely want to make sure these guys are in slot 2. These guys can never leave slot 1. Okay? So that's how this first team works. You know, these guys always float. This guy is also going to float as Goku for the majority of the run. Everyone else is just stacking. Okay? Here is your second team. And the second team works very similar to the first. However, this is taking into account if you don't have an STR Goku. So this is a team that you could potentially run right here without STR Goku. And basically what your strategy is you're going to transform this guy around turn 15 to Goku. And you're going to float him for half of the run. This guy, you're going to stick on rotation with the Super Saiyan 4 monkeys or the gods. It doesn't matter. Up until 7 million defense. Once he get, and you know, just stick him in slot 1 till he gets 7 million defense. He has a 90% damage reduction in slot 1. Just build him up to 7 million defense, and then you can float him off. But potentially, this run works the same exact way. The Tech Gods and the Monkeys are on 2 opposite rotations. Okay? And you want to build up this Vegeta up to 3.1 to 3.5 million. And you want to stack his attack as well. But halfway through the run, when your stacking is done, when his defensive stacking is done, when his defensive stacking is done, when his defensive stacking is done, excuse me, I had a little gnat fly across me. I don't even know how I got in here. But when all the stacking is done, this Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you're going to put on rotation next to the monkeys. Okay? He doesn't go with the gods. He goes with the monkeys. So that's how this works. You're going to have potentially by the latter half of the run, you have the monkeys and Super Saiyan 4 Goku next to each other. Monkeys in slot 1, Tech Gods in slot 1, and whoever else you want to put in slot 2. Probably the Tech Goku just stacking attack. Okay? This team works very similarly as well. It's just with a different lead. If you wanted maybe 2 Tech Vegetos instead of 2 AGL Gogeta actives, it works the same exact way, though. It's just basically, do you want to depend on the Tech Vegetos and have 2 of them? Because it does make runs a little bit easier to have 2. It's just how it goes. The next team, this is my favorite team for a standard festival run right here. It's a little bit more intricate than the other ones, but if you have all of the pieces, it could potentially get you an easy win. And here's how it works. So you have 2 int hits. And these int hits, you're going to awaken immediately. So you want to put them in slot 1, and you want to activate their improvement as soon as possible. Once their improvement hits, you're going to float them off. Okay? This guy you float off for the whole entire run. His active isn't going to do a lot of damage. He literally just exists not to get caught. And most of the time, he's not going to get caught. So you're just going to float him the entire run. Okay? And your rotations look like this. So once our stacking is done, in which case, you know, you can put Broly with the Vegeta or Broly with the AGL Goku. It's entirely up to you. But once your defensive stacking is done, you want to make sure that Tech Broly is in slot 1 and the monkeys are in slot 1. And hits on alternating rotations, both improved in slot 2. So the way the rotations look, Super Saiyan 4s with an improved hit on one rotation, Tech Broly with an improved hit on the other rotation. This is after all your defensive stacking is done. And you're basically going to just go through the whole run like that. Ideally, where you want to hit your actives. So, Tech Vegeto active typically around the Daimas. Okay? If you need to. Otherwise, save it for Vegeto. If you could save it for Vegeto, that's ideal. To use your Vegeto on the last phase, that's ideal. But if you have to use him at Daimas, you can. I do not recommend using it before. I do not recommend using any actives aside from maybe STR Gokus. If you need to get past that Super Saiyan Goku, you won't do enough damage. That's really I would save all of your actives. You want to transform Super Saiyan 4s and the Tech Gods at Super Saiyan Goku, not before. You don't want to do it at Buu. You don't want to do it at Tech UI. At Super Saiyan Goku before the Daimas, you want to transform your Super Saiyan 4s and your Tech Gods. Okay? That's how it works. The Broly active you use against Gogeta. Otherwise, save all your actives as long as you can. Okay? But essentially, the way that this works, once again, you improve the hits as fast as possible, float them off. Float the Goku the entire fight, the STR Goku. Get your defensive stacks up for the Tech Goku and the AGL Vegeta. And then your rotations will look like Super Saiyan 4s with an improved hit, and Tech Broly with an improved hit. That's it. Okay? That's your run. Really easy. Share a lot of links. Really hard hitting. Between the hits and the Broly, who's a cheat code, and the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, it's an easy win, especially with items. It's an easy win. Okay? This team right here. So this team I used to get my under an hour run in Festival. You might have seen this floating around social media. This is the team a lot of people are using. Some variations use a B pen instead of this Bulma. It's entirely up to you if you want to go that route. They both support on active, right? But the way that this works is you have AGL Vegeta as your lead, and you have Tech Broly as your friend lead. And basically what you want to do is you want to stick Tech Broly in slot 1 on both rotations, with Int Broly on one rotation and the AGL Broly on another rotation. Okay? So the whole fight long, Tech Broly, Int Broly, Tech Broly, AGL Broly, 2 different rotations. When you get to turn 41, you want to use a Bulma. When you get to turn 43, you want to use a domain. Who's ever, whether it's AGL Broly or Int Broly, you want to use their domain on turn 43. Turn 46, you use Bulma again. And here's the items just so you can see them. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I was not prepared for this. But it's the Bulma that stacks 25%. I'll show you real quick here. Just so you know. Okay, so this Bulma right here, 25% for 5 turns. You want to pop that turn 41. Domain turn 43. Another Bulma on turn 46. On turn 47, you want to use this meat. This Paozu Source tail meat. Okay? That's turn 47. On turn 48, you're going to use the other Broly's domain. On turn 49, you're going to meet again. Now, turn 48 is the Daimas. You want to try and gauge your Dokkan attack so you have it on the Daimas. You cannot do this run effectively. You can do it, but you can't do it effectively without getting a Dokkan attack on the Daimas. So try and measure when your Dokkan attack hits for when you're at the Daimas, okay? And you want Tech Broly to be in slot 1 the whole time. Hopefully he gets supered a bunch. High risk, high reward run. But potentially, you know, the 2 Tech Brolys are basically going to just run everything in one turn. That's their job. Both Tech Brolys, make sure you have a rainbow friend. Don't settle. But your Tech Broly, their Tech Broly, both slot 1, running the whole thing, one turning the whole entire run. This is my favorite team right now, obviously, because it's the fastest and it's the most effective. But if you don't want to just leave it up into chance, if you want to have a nice, steady, effective, I can definitely win with this team, regardless if I get a Daima attack or a Dokkan attack or not on Daimas. It's this team right here. The other teams also work very well, but the items look a little bit different with these teams. You want to probably have a Whis and a Bulma, I would say. Or if you want to go super defensive, a Ghost Usher and a Whis, right? This team is another option as well. You're floating this guy the whole time. You're bringing 2 of these Super Saiyan 4s because they're going to run the whole gambit the whole time. They'll be doing massive damage, but the stacking works the same, right? You want to stack defense for your anniversary 10s. This guy you want to transform into Super Saiyan 4 Goku like turn 15. Halfway through the run, you want to put him next to one of your Super Saiyan 4s. And that's it. There is these teams down here. Like, if you maybe want to run this team, this would be, you're a seasoned player, you know how to stack. You want to do it with a hybrid Saiyans team for some reason. This team potentially could work. These guys would be swapped out for Goten and Trunks, and you'd be basically floating them the whole time. But these 4 units, this guy as Piccolo, this guy you would transform at Super Saiyan Goku, and this guy are your stackers. She's also another floater. Okay? So 2 Int Trunks and Gotens as a floater, your Panis floaters, these 4 stack. You can mix and match them any which way because they're all Gohans. They're going to link well together. It doesn't really matter. This team right here is if you need an extreme run done. Another variation, if you don't have the Broly, is this team right here. If you're using this Gogeta, he floats. Swap in the Gogeta and float him and pray. This Namek Frieza can't really live very well. Not as defensive as the Goku. You want to float him as well. Okay. This guy, he's going to be in slot 1 the entire run next to Broly. If you don't have a Broly, you still stick him in slot 1. He needs to be in slot 1. This guy also needs to be in slot 1, so put him on 2 different rotations. The Broly should always be on a different rotation than the monkeys as well, because they're anchors for their turns, right? The Super Saiyan 4s and this Broly are anchors for their turns, but this guy you always want in slot 1. He needs to stack as much as possible, and the only way he will do it is if he's in slot 1. He will not get enough stacks in slot 2. He will die. Towards the end, you could run him in slot 1 the whole entire time. Towards the end of the run, he can still die. Bring defensive items. But if you want your extreme team mission done, this is how you do it. There are other teams that we spoke about earlier that will get the job done. But this is effectively how you run Festival of Battles. And this team works a lot the same, except this guy's a floater. The SDR Goku. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment. I'll answer. But I hope this helped. And I'll see you in the next video to talk about units more in depth.